One of the training tools that I've talked about a lot in the past, written articles about it, gave seminar about it, is called neural charge training. It's a training tool that is very effective, especially for a type 1, so 1A, 1B, as well as a type 2A. Now, it's a way to recover the nervous system. So that's why I mentioned it's good for the type 1s and the type 2A because they have a very important neurological component. So they often need to recharge that nervous system. Like, for example, a type 1A needs to train very frequently, otherwise it will actually become sluggish. If a type 1A takes 2 days off in a row, the next workout is going to be complete shit because the nervous system will be asleep. So they need to do something pretty much every day. But they can't train all out every day, otherwise they can actually drain themselves. Now, what do you do if you're starting to feel symptoms of neurological fatigue and you are neurologically driven? Well, here's what you do. You don't rest. You do a neural charge session. Neural charge session, very short, 15, 20 minutes. All right, and we're talking about 3-4 exercises and done either very heavy, but not lifting weights. I'm gonna get to that later, or very explosive. So a type 1A would use a neural charge session based on explosive exercises. So type 1A, for 15-20 minutes, would pick 4 exercises that are done with violence, all right? Jumps, throws, hitting something, so hitting a heavy bag, hitting a tire with a sledgehammer, a sprint, anything that can be done violently, battle ropes. But for a very short time, when talking about jumping or throwing, we're talking about 3, maybe 5 reps, but normally 3 reps. Sprinting, it's 10 meters. Striking a sledgehammer, about 5, 6, 10 seconds at the most. You don't want any fatigue. The goal of the neural charge session is not to create a training effect. It's not a conditioning session. Like you have 4 exercises, you do them as a circuit if you're a type 1B. If you're a type 1B, 4 exercises done explosively as a circuit. But it's a circuit with 60, 75 seconds of rest between sets, between exercises, because otherwise you will create metabolic fatigue and it goes against what you're trying to accomplish. Neural charge session, it's all about recovery. So you want those explosive movements to trigger that neural activation. But you don't want to create any muscular, neurological, or physical fatigue. So no lactic acid, no being out of breath, no sweating, ideally. Very explosive, non-fatiguing. If you are type 1B, 4 exercises done in a circuit, multitasking, and explosive. If you're a type 1A, I would go with very heavy, but non-traumatic. How do you do that? Well, you use overcoming isometrics. Or you can use very heavy prowler pushing. Overcoming isometrics, you are in a power rack. You set up the safety pins above you, and I'm pressing the barbell against the safety pins, pressing as hard as I can for 6 seconds. All right? That will amp up your nervous system, but since there's no eccentric, there's actually no movement, there's no load, there will be 0 muscle damage, so it's non-fatiguing. 6 seconds, not enough to create neurological fatigue either. So you would do like 3 sets or 4 sets of bench press, then you would set up for a squat, and you do 3 or 4 sets for the squats like this, and you go home. 10, 15 minutes. 1A, 10, 15 minutes. 1B, 15, 20 minutes. Because a 1A cannot do volume. That will amp up your nervous system and will help you recharge your neurological battery, which will help you perform better. You can even do this in the morning of a heavy workout. I'm going to test my bench press. I go in the gym. I just do some like overcoming isometrics for the bench for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. In the afternoon, I'm going to perform better. You can do this to recover from a competition. The 3 days after a competition, I do neural charge sessions. You can do it after a heavy workout to recover from that heavy workout. So instead of having recovery days for type 1A, type 1B, you go with neural charge. Very effective training method. But again, the goal is not to push yourself hard. The goal is not to create a training effect. It's to recharge your nervous system.